Alrighty, guys, it's time for this week's budget review, budget update. I'm not even quite sure what to call these anymore. Basically, it's what I did right and what I did wrong. So, if this is your first time coming in, I did pick the Hemlock and Oak 2024 Daily Planner as my budget planner for this year. I picked their planner last year for my budget planner and it went swimmingly well. So that's why we picked this planner again for this year. So, just a quick recap. They give you this year at a glance page. I basically use this thing to let me know like what's going on throughout the year. The paydays, of course, are all listed in green. The focus account, since I am using the snowball method to pay down my debt, all the focus accounts are in red, and when I actually do get one paid off, I'm just highlighted on the little mini calendar. Birthdays and holidays I combined for this year, they're all in purple. What else do we got? Large amounts of money in would be the yellow. Pesky expenses, these are your annual expenses. For me, that just includes car inspection and like plate registration, driver's license. We had that last year, but I just highlight them in the month that they're due. And again, when I take care of them, they just get marked off in the little mini calendar. We got taxes coming up this year, or yeah, taxes come up every year. Um, oh man, this whole 1 hour change for the daylight savings is getting to me already. It's day one. Yeah, I got taxes coming up this month, so that should be this week. So when I take care of those again, I'll mark them on the mini calendar. So that's pretty much it for that page. Again, we have the holiday plans. This is something new for this year. I'm just trying to figure out how much I actually spend for each of these holidays, and then that way I can plan accordingly for next year. Okay, yeah, I almost forgot about this page. We have this 2 years at a glance. Last year's planner edition had this in the planner. I had to make my own and put it into the planner this year. I really wish they would bring it back for 2025. So originally, I had no idea what to use this page for, but it has become a must. It's a mandatory layout in my budget planner now. And what I use it for is, since I'm using the Stebit.com or the Debt Payoff Planner app, either way, I have it listed in the description down below, but it's a wonderful little tool where you take all of your accounts and all the, how much you owe. You put it in there and you say if you want to do the snowball method, if you want to do the avalanche method, or you could even choose a custom payoff payment for yourself. It makes you this nice little spreadsheet thing, and it tells you what to pay to reach your goal. So that's what these projected payoff dates are. That's where these come from. So those are listed under the month that they're projected to be paid off. As I'm paying the card off, I do highlight the week. And so since we already have the first account down, the Capital card was due to be paid off in March. I got the sucker paid off halfway through February, so that's nice. And it lets me see like, hey, I'm staying on track because I got it paid off before it was projected to be due. And it also lets me see how long it took me to pay that one account down. So yeah, we're on to the focus card number 2, which is Chase. And I mean, I'm really hoping to start trucking along with this thing. Again, I mean, if you're on a debt payoff journey, it does feel like it's taking forever to get this taken care of, but it does slowly dwindle down. Like I had all of these plus more last year, so the list is slowly getting smaller one by one. So basically this page gives me the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see my end goal here, and again, it's just how fast can we get to the end goal. These are pages that I added in this year. I really thought I would start getting to these by now, but yeah. Basically, I'm trying to teach myself to save for needs and wants. I'm again teaching myself the difference between needs and wants. But with everything that's been going on, I have not had a chance to put anything in this. And guys, I'm telling you right now, I really need my hair and brows done. We are overdue. But my rule is I have to have that, I gotta have the funds before I can do it. So, Sally. So I gotta definitely start putting some funds into that piggy right there. Let's see here. I can actually color this because I transferred the funds, which means it's out of my bank account, and it takes like 4 or 5 days for the stupid thing to transfer over. But once it's over, it'll be paid. But we're that much closer to having the stupid car loan paid off. And if you do like these coloring sheets and you think that they'll help you with your budgeting, they are from the debtfreecharts.com. I absolutely love them. They're adorable, and they do make, all of this not so fun stuff a little bit more fun. So yeah, I'm really killing this page here, but it's kind of okay because I don't really think anything was going on it. It's always nice to think to the future, but not right now. We're playing Tetris right now, and the only thing that I did change up for this year is last year I waited till the end of the month to start coloring it in. I've found that if I start coloring the blocks in during the month, it makes me just a little bit more motivated to purchase the next block, okay? Apparently this is what works for me for when I want to pay down my debt. It makes it a lot more funner. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to make an extra payment to my debt, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm buying another block on Tetris, okay? So it just kind of gamifies the whole process. And again, I did choose the snowball method for all of my accounts. So they are listed from least to greatest. And it is what it is, guys. Okay, so it is getting better. It looks pretty rough, but from last year, this is an improvement. I got 10,000 paid off last year. I'm shooting for 10,000 and more this year. It would be really nice if I could get all this done this year, but at the pace that I'm going, I do not see it. Again, I'm shooting for level 3. But we did get some more blocks. So, they're slowly adding up there. And nothing makes me happier whenever I start seeing Tetris start adding up there. So let's get into this monthly layout. And again, I just take all of the projected due dates for all of my bills. I just write them out on the monthly calendar. This gives you a nice visual, definitely for like on the days that you get paid, because now I know exactly what bills must be covered during, this pay period. So these two right here would be my paydays. So pretty much I know once I get paid on this day, everything from here up has to be covered by this check. Because, I'm not getting paid until this day. So it kind of gives me a way of quickly looking at all of my bills and saying, okay, I need to have all of these paid off. I need to have all of these paid off. And basically, I just try to take care of them around this time. And then that way it's done. I still got to hit the utilities. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But, yeah. I do switch up the color. The little checkbox that I make for myself. For this month, the light tan ones are my mandatories. These are ones that are normally due on the same day. They're typically the same amount. And, late fees, that type of stuff. Problems occur if they're not paid by this time. So those are in that first color. And this darker shade of green are my optionals. Those typically include like my daily savings goal. So I do $5 a day, 5 times 31 is 155. So I just split that up on the pay period. So that's 75 and 80. We already got the first chunk put in. It gives you about $1,800 at the end of the year. So it's a nice, fun way of saving money that doesn't really break the bank. Because, I mean, if you're thinking about it, when you're going through a drive through, it's $5 every time you go. So, $5 a day instead of paying the drive through, pay yourself. Of course, I have the no credit cards challenge, which has been very tricky this year. Yeah, and I'm starting to see a repeat pattern. Again, this is why I do what I do, but it just seems like it's occurring right around the same time. Of course, January, I was a golden child. Yeah, it was just one day. Uh, February brought back the bad habits. But I'm starting to, it always has to deal with gasoline. So I'm wondering if I need to start just having like an actual gasoline fund and start putting it back, like a little bit each week, to make sure that that doesn't happen. But then again, it would probably happen like sooner. I don't know. That's something that I gotta look into, but it's starting to show like a very distinct trend there. Another thing, what else do I got on here? I do keep track of the extra payments that I make towards the Focus account, so I'm also doing the minimum. See, we can see Chase is still here, but I still have those $50 extra payments that I do every Sunday. And again, this is the main mission here, is we're trying to put as much as we can on the accounts without breaking the bank to make sure that this doesn't happen. And I do need to see why that's happening. It's 2 months in a row, and it's too similar for me not to notice. So let's see. I've been working with planners too much this week. Let's see what week we are on. We are on the right week here. In my mind, we're already on the 17th, but we can't be because that's next Sunday. Okay, so when I last left Yins, I told you that I was changing this up here just to try to see like what's occurring here. So again, I was welcoming the new month. I always get excited when there's a new month. It just means that I get another chance to try again and just improve, to see what I can do better. So again, what can be better here is I looked at what I had my spending for last month, and the first thing I noticed is that yes, I did miss some subscriptions. I was sick all month, all February I was sick, so of course, I had to buy the medicines and that. But then I also noticed that like I don't make the best choices when I'm sick. So that could also be the issue for February, and it's kind of bleeding into March. The food bill was up higher. $71 higher, so I think I was just eating more to get my energy back because I was sick. The crafts, what I spend on crafts a month was still ridiculous. It's like $150 every month. I do not need $150 worth of craft stuff every month. That's ridiculous. That's gotta stop. And I was depending on my savings too much. So again, those are things that I'm keeping in mind while we're moving into March here. Again, what I found out, what worked in March, I'm still really surprised by this, and like me and Ray even discussed it. We can't understand why there was this big of a difference, but my gasoline was $100 less. I really only spent, I think it was like $42 or $48 for the month, for gas. Let's see here. Yeah, 42. Versus 150 for January. Nothing changed. I did the same exact thing, so I have no idea why that was 100 less. I wish I knew. It would make a big difference. Of course, the self ones, it was $210 less, so that's a great improvement. I doubled my savings, and all around, I pretty much showed that I had more control over my spending. So I really think it was this week right here. It just kind of really jacked me off that I did that. And so I kind of, improved for like the last week and a half. So weird things like that are what motivate me. So let's get on to, what we're going through here. And of course, you got your shopping trips, and this is how I keep track of my logs. So we got minuses and pluses, those are good. It's when we start seeing the dots. Dots are a problem. See, we got a dot. So the dot means that I used the credit card. And yeah, see, we went from two very hopeful pages to starting the week off with, well, damn. So not a good way to start the week. So yeah, basically, like, I had everything planned out for the week, and I think what happened is I didn't have all of this totaled in. Yeah, I had to, I bought stickers back in January. I finally got the stupid things paid off. Of course, the student loans. I made that focus payment. Let's see here, Shamrock Stash. Oh, a plant. I bought a shamrock plant. If I would have waited one more week, he was $7, guys. But he does look pretty cool. Of course, the groceries. Yeah, raise funds for dinner. Okay. Almost lost my voice there. Okay, so yeah, we split the cost of dinner, and of course had to get Bert more food, and then I got springtime snacks. So I don't think I had the Walmart purchases and that all included in there, because in my mind I'm thinking, like, I got a decent amount to walk into the week with. But yes, I started the week with $26, guys. But as low as that sounds, if I would have just stuck with what I needed to cover the cost for me to eat at work, this still would have been doable, because I do have a limit of where I need, which I know it sounds ridiculous, but I enjoy using the fast food apps. I can eat for $3 or less a day from the fast food places, so that's why I do the drive-thrus instead of buying food and making and preparing. It's just a lot easier. It works for me, and it's way cheaper. But that may not be the case for you. But yeah, if I got 5 days of work times $3, that's 15. So even with $26, I would have been I would have been great. Okay, because payday's Friday. The thing that got me again, which this did this to me in February as well, is this is when I needed the stupid gas. And it's, for $50, it's like, come on, dude, you couldn't have waited till Friday. But no, and I mean, that's one of those things you can't really argue with. So on the charge card it went. Of course, we make it into Tuesday now, so it's like, yeah, you're already starting the week off great. So the weather was a wee bit warmer. It was definitely starting to look like a nice spring day, and I just really wanted a shake, okay? I did. It was so nice outside that a milkshake would have been great. Again, I'm teaching myself, did I need the milkshake? No, I could have survived. I could have lived without having it. Did it make my date better? Yes, because I wanted it. So me and Ray at least found a BOGO deal, so we each got one for half the price. I guess if I'm going to spend like that, that's, the best way of doing that. And of course, the Marls had to go on the card as well. So it's not good. Like, if you're paying off credit card debt, you don't want to be using the card, but it's things that I need. I am not going to tell myself that I can't have the Marl and I can't have the gas, because at that point in time, I'm not going to work, and I need to make, money to pay this off. So whatever gets me to work, that's what we got to fund. Wednesday, kind of got a little bit back on track. It's like, okay, it's not the start to the week that I thought I was going to have, but, we're going to get this ship righted. We're going to get it turned in the right direction. So again, I told you I can eat for less than $3. So Wednesday's a win. And Thursday, yeah, we have after school programs, and basically God, I'm trying to even think of how many kids we might even have. I'm gonna do like a lowball estimate, and probably about 700 kids. in the building with all the staff until 6 p.m. It means less time for us to do what we need to do. It also means more mess. And, well, Cody was just being a grumpy gills all week. And, again, since I am an emotional spender, when I'm stressed, I do spend more. So I just figured, you know what? Like, I mean, I used to do like really bad on these. Like whenever things were going wrong, I would just like full on bomb it. Like, yeah, you've already overspent. You already used a card, so like let's go get $200 worth of clothes. So at least again, I'm still using the card for a need. The candle supplies and the plants, I don't need, I wanted. So I did tell myself, like, look, if you're really getting those, you have to find the funds for it. And I did. So even with my measly $17, I was able to cover those. And that gets us to payday. So we made it to Friday. And again, this is me telling myself, like, look, I can do better. I know I can do better. Because originally in January, I told myself, so that I don't feel like I'm going paycheck to paycheck, whatever the remaining balance was at the start of the payday, I got to put into the stash funds for myself. And stash funds are basically funds I use for fun. They are for those ones of where you're like, man, I shouldn't get this because I don't need it, but you would just pull the funds from the stash funds to cover it. Yeah, in January, I was able to keep back 70 on the first one and, of course, 15 on the second. That's a lot better than this measly $5 that I was able to have. Notice I wasn't allowed to keep it. It stayed in the bank account. I'm not even putting that in the stash. And, yeah, so, like, I know I can do better. I was doing better, so, like, let's get back to that. I did cover the cost of the gas and, of course, the 2 morals. So those are paid. I did make a payment for my Vita. Again, that's my collagen. It does sound funny hearing that it is a need, but I have seen what happens to my body if I don't drink it. And again, what helps me go to work is necessary because the work brings in the paycheck. And that's what makes the debt goes down. So Saturday, of course, a lot better. It's a no spend day. And I am starting to realize that, no spend days are actually the best. One, they're easy to log because you can see didn't have to do nothing. And two, it means that I was at home. I was relaxing, and more than likely I was creating or working on something. It means that I was too preoccupied to be bored to want to spend. I had no need to. Like, I'm actually content with what I have. To me, that's what a no spend day means now. So that's Saturday. And of course, Sunday is all business because I gotta get this thing ready to come on here and review it with yins. So, another thing that I noticed in January that I was doing is all of those bills that, like, we were talking about on here, I would go ahead and pay them as like close to the payday as possible, and then that way I knew the like remaining balance that I had leading into the next payday. I feel like that might have helped me adjust my spending because I was constantly seeing a lower number, which eventually I would see the lower number if I pay them, when they're due. But for some reason, for me, seeing that lower number earlier on, right after a pay, it made me think like I was broker. So it did change how I spend. So I'm going to try to restart that again. I kind of skipped on it on February with me being sick. So I got all of the debtors taken care of for that time frame. So it does look like I spent a lot, but again, this is over the course of 2 weeks here. And I got all of the utilities for this pay period ready to go. So I'm going to take care of those again tomorrow because I do have to transfer funds with me and Ray. And I did. I wanted to get on here and, get this done with, share it with yins. So that's it. Again, it doesn't look like the best of weeks. Again, for some reason, this stupid gasoline is what's messing me up. Even though it's not a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there that spend way more than that. But for some reason the stupid gas is what's giving me that hiccup on the not using the cards. So I got to come up with a fun way of correcting that. And again, this is like the beauty of keeping track of this day to day is you get to monitor different patterns that you do, and then you can modify it for the month coming up. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I got for this week's weekly review. I hope that just by like going through this with you guys, that it gives you some ideas for your own budget journey. The big one for me is when I do show like all of the accounts that I still have due. If you do have credit card debt, this is just a nice friendly reminder that you're not alone. There's a lot of us out here that have this. Nobody talks about it. There's a lot of shame that goes into this, but I mean, if you're working towards it and you're trying to make it better and you're trying to change your patterns and stop doing this, there's nothing to be ashamed about with that. It's you're bettering yourself, you're bettering your financial goals, your financial wealth. So leave in the comments down below if you're in similar situations here, if you've tried something and it worked. Just even if any of this gives you a nice chuckle for the day. So I'm going to close out with that. And again, I'm going to just say again, thank you so much, guys. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.